What's up, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Tug of More.
Man, so glad that you're taking some time to join us today.
I just picked my leggings with my ring, and it makes me so mad.
What, does that make a hole in your pants?
Yeah, well, like a pick. I don't know. It's because I got this fancy wedding ring.
Things that never happen to guys.
That's true.
My ring digging a hole in my pants.
Oh, sorry, guys.
But I carry a pocket knife in my pocket.
Do you ever cut a hole in your pants?
Well, not like from the knife, but from the big metal object in my pocket.
Oh, yeah, that's frustrating.
Got a hole in my pants. You ever see those guys that chew tobacco and they have like a circle in their pocket where they keep their skull?
Yes.
You ever notice that?
Yes.
Or
but it's always so indented, like, sir, why have you had those pants for 10 years?
And do you wash them?
Yeah, and then I guess you've carried that exact same pocket or pack of skull in your pocket.
Yeah, that's a Texas thing.
I guess.
I never saw that in Michigan. Ever. I didn't know one person doing chewing tobacco in Michigan.
Have I told you this story about going to school for the first time in high school at a public school?
No. Did you do chewing tobacco?
No.
You were the kid in Sandlot that puked on the merry-go-round?
That would have been me if I would have tried it. So I grew up in private school. Then I moved to a little, like a smaller farm school, like public school. So it's small. There's only like 90 kids in my graduating class. Uh-huh. And the first day of school, this is not a joke, I go to the lunchroom. I sit down with some girls who are super nice. And there's a random cowboy. I have no idea. I've never met him before. Uh-huh. Walks up, and I had been drinking Tang orange juice kind of drink.
Shout out to Tang.
Yeah, remember
Hello,
that?
1980.
It's not real orange juice. It's
they took
fake.
Tang to the moon.
Yeah, because it doesn't biodegrade probably, and so that's good for your stomach,
food.
Right? And so it was like a plastic container. Okay. And I'm finished with it.
Sunny D.
Yeah, it's like Sunny D.
Hey, we got some purple stuff. We got some cola.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Sunny D?
It's the public school brand, though, And so I have it on the table, and it's done. I'm done drinking it. And this boy comes, sits down in front of me. He's like, "You done with this?" I'm like, "Yeah." He grabs it, spits his chewing tobacco in what was previously my cup.
Well, you gave it to him.
Well, yeah, gross. And then it's like, "Hey, welcome. Nice to meet you." And I'm like, "No, not nice to meet you. That's the grossest thing I've ever experienced."
Isn't it like not a drug? But you're not allowed to have that at school.
You are definitely not allowed to have that at school.
You can't smoke at school.
They would walk around later.
But Oklahoma,
little podunk farm school.
You can chew tobacco in high school. You can marry your cousin.
And
you can do all kind of stuff.
I was like, this is what happens in public school.
You can go gambling.
I was so shocked.
You can mix spaghetti and chili and green beans and peas and
mac and cheese and applesauce.
Guys, listen. Hey, that was the weirdest intro I ever had in our whole life. Welcome to the Tug of More. It's just a conversation. I started it, and I added a bunch of unnecessary
But wouldn't that be traumatic to you? Your first day of school, you've been in private Jesus school your whole life.
Yeah.
And that is the first thing that happens. It was very what did I do?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It was traumatic.
Well, guys, hopefully you have not had any traumatic experiences this week.
Yeah.
If you have, listen,
that's okay.
You're in the right place.
God
just a conversation between two friends.
That's right.
Talking about where we are and where we want to be.
That's right. And there's a fight, a tension, a struggle to get there. And so we talk about all kinds of things, concepts, ideas.
Yeah.
And we have our tug team. That's you, anybody who tunes in, that all the time will send us questions, comments, thoughts, opinions. Usually they're all good. Every now and then they're not. But most of the time they're kind and wonderful.
Yeah.
And this week we got a question from one of our tug team friends.
And hey, we're going to do our best to answer your question, but I want to tell you, we're both a little bit unhinged today.
We're just
if you couldn't tell from my intro, it's Thursday. It's the end of the day.
It's foggy outside.
Oh, dude,
the weather's crazy.
Today I just accomplished a ministry dream.
Oh.
When is this posted? Can I say it? Will the church already know about the thing me and you just went and saw?
Oh. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
We just went and saw for the first time, drum roll, the Peep Jeep.
The Peep Jeep.
Here's a picture. Dude, I have been excited about having a Peep Jeep for my whole life. That's not true. For your whole life.
I don't know.
But for a long time.
Several years you've been saying, wouldn't it be incredible if on Easter we had a way to advertise with a Jeep that was covered in Peep.
Yeah,
Peeps,
it's Easter. You know Peeps, they're Easter vibe.
That's right.
And so I've always wanted to have the Peep Jeep to use. You remember Herbie? Did you ever watch Herbie as a kid?
Yeah, Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah, Herbie the Love Bug. Or if you're like a man, you grew up watching
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
this is your version.
This is my
of
pastor
Herbie,
version.
The Love Bug, and Knight Rider had a baby or something.
Or
whatever.
He's an Oklahoma cousin, and so we've got the Peep Jeep. You're going to see him rolling around town.
That's
We're doing
right.
all kind of promo. We got banner. We're passing out 5,000 peeps.
Come on.
At a parade.
We're so excited.
So excited. So I just saw for the first time the Peep Jeep. So I'm a little. I don't even care about nothing except I'm just excited about the Peep Jeep.
You're like, I got what I wanted. I'm so happy.
We're about to have it in a parade.
Yeah.
What happens, you know my nightmare, is that we're in the parade and the Jeep dies.
Yeah, this is the
It's
worst
a
nightmare.
1955 Jeep Willys.
Here's the thing that's good about it.
But it's got a Vortec.
I don't know what that means, but
some of them do.
I think it's very fancy,
Some
whatever
of
it
them
is.
do.
What is good about that is the only people who should own a 1955 Willys Jeep to take in a parade is people a church that exists in the world that has 97 trailers to be able to tow it if it did in fact break down.
We can winch that puppy up so fast.
We are the appropriate church because we have, how many trailers do we own?
More than 8.
That, sir, is a great answer. Because I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. It's definitely more than 7.
I'm so proud of myself.
You're proud of yourself that it's only...
No, it's more than 8.
Oh, you're...
I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, you did not at all think it's absurd.
I know that we were supposed to count the cost of the tower before you build it, but didn't say nothing about trailers.
So we just buy more trailers.
Dude, I got a deal on the Peep Jeep.
Yes,
We're gonna use that for 5 years, and then I'm gonna sell it, and I'm gonna make triple what I paid for it.
Yeah.
I saw that dude. He posted on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, yes,
Yoink.
sir. I'm on my way.
Yes.
Sucker.
That is exactly what happened. It's
Okay.
exactly how that went.
Okay.
So we have a question.
We have a question. We are unsure of how focused we'll be in the answer.
No, it's going to be a great answer because you know why? Because we have to deal with this every day.
Okay, hit me with
every
it.
single day. So the
Hit me with the
question was, now again, we are pastors, so our context is from the Bible.
That's true.
And Jesus, because he's the best. And so one of our tug team friends said, hey, I want to know about how do you deal with, as a leader, the little foxes? So, sir,
Okay.
I think you have pulled up the verse. Have you not pulled up the verse ready to read it to us?
Well, so Little Fox context is from the writing of Solomon.
Yep.
Right? And well, let me
Wisest man who ever lived.
Wisest dude who ever lived. Let me just read it. Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 15. Catch for us the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, our vineyards that are in bloom. So it's talking about a agricultural situation they would have in that day. A farmer, a winery.
Yep.
Careful.
Careful.
A winery would build these
Whoa,
walls.
Pastor.
Would build these walls
Yeah.
around the grapevines, and the walls were to keep out thieves,
Right.
and to keep out bears.
Right.
Think about how many grapes a bear can eat.
It would run the whole vineyard.
To keep out big predators that would come in and steal.
Yeah.
But what would happen is, as the wall would deteriorate over time, the little foxes would be able to sneak through the cracks, and those little foxes were too small to reach the grapes on the top.
Right.
So what they would do is they would eat at the foot of the vine, the sweet, because there's all that nutrients and stuff, and so all the water at the fruit of the vine. And so these little foxes would actually do worse damage than a bear.
Right. Because it would get it down near its root.
And would kill the whole plant.
Kill the whole plant.
And so he says, catch for us these little foxes. So what farmers would do is a couple things. One, they would employ dogs.
Yep.
So they'd have dogs in their field, or they would hire a young boy. One theory is that shepherds, one of the reasons that shepherds were so good with their sling and their stone is because they had previously been vineyard tenders.
Okay.
They would get these little, think of Titus.
Yeah.
My Titus is 8 years old. If Titus, you taught him how to use a sling and a stone,
Right.
he would be the perfect human
Candidate,
to
yeah.
just walk around a vineyard and throw rocks at small foxes
Yeah.
that are sneaking in. And so they said, catch for us these little foxes. Hey, Titus,
Yeah.
go out there with your BB gun, essentially,
Right.
and kill these little things that are destroying the vine.
Right.
And so the biblical
Good job,
idea.
Pastor. You did a great job.
Okay, good.
No,
And
you
so
did.
the biblical idea is, what are the little things?
Right.
We're real good at dealing with the large predators.
Right.
The giant thieves that jump over the fence with a bag, or the bear that, everybody sees the bear. But what are the little things?
Right.
that are killing your advancement.
Yeah, as leaders, as people who are tugging into more, no matter where we are, whether we're pastors, leaders of a church, whether we work in corporate America, whether we're running our household, there are big decisions we make all the time in order to make things happen. In fact, we just recently did a podcast talking about how you roll out those big decisions.
Oh, yeah.
But there are daily small things. Some are decisions. Some are just the headaches that are, one of the biggest headaches in my home is laundry. Laundry can become a little fox in my house if I let it, because it will take over.
And so what laundry can do when it's not managed is you and Aaron's marriage can be healthy and thriving and producing grapes.
And all of a sudden, I'm bugged. Say it your way.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. I can't do it.
I need to, if I had some chewing tobacco in it would come out better.
Yeah, it would be better, right?
All of a sudden. Chaos erupts in your home because you can't even open the laundry room door because the laundry monster.
Can't even sit on the couch because I just dumped all the clean laundry on the couch because I'm going to fold it while I watch TV.
You know what Rachel does?
She puts it in your bedroom, right?
She puts my laundry on my side of the bed. And so
you can't go to bed.
So then I either put the laundry away or I have to throw it on the floor like a loser.
Yeah, but what else are you going to do? You're coming to bed at night. You are not going to spend the time to put it away. You're just
we have a chair. We have a chair.
Move it to the chair.
Yeah, I just shove it on the chair.
This is what happens.
And then you're like, what's clean? What's dirty? I don't know.
No idea.
Just wash it all again.
Exactly.
And then she wants to murder me. And then the vine of our marriage begins to wither because of the little fox.
See what I'm saying? So little foxes in our life, we have to really pay attention to them. And so the question is, what do we do about little foxes? And what you're saying is we have to find them and attack them. We have to identify them and get rid of it. Go.
Well, let's take it. Let's break it down a little bit.
Let's do it.
What do we do about the little foxes? First, you have to repair the fence.
Oh, that's true.
How did the little fox get in? Your perimeter has been compromised.
That's right. That's true.
And so what are the little foxes, the small things in your leadership, in your family, in your ministry?
Where are the areas that little foxes can slip in?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a great question.
So your perimeter is your non-negotiables.
Yeah.
For me, your culture, your values.
Yeah. Your boundaries.
Your boundaries, exactly, of like how you're going to do what you're going to do. And when those things start to crumble, it's easy to just have stuff sneak in.
Yeah. If you're a very...
I see it all the time that in a church context, a little fox. I see pastors that have somebody in their church that wants to teach something. And so the pastor, you know what? This is a better example. They let somebody be a life group leader that they don't really know. Yeah. We had somebody, a couple that we allowed to be a life group leader before we really ran them. This is probably 3 years ago. That before we really vetted them all the way and really got to know them and their story and their marriage and all the things. And that became a little fox. Yeah. A little thing. They're there on Sunday. They give, they serve, they smile, they worship, right? But there was a couple things about their personal culture or belief that was contrary to our values.
Not necessarily their deep character, but like just some ways they did what they did that were against kind of the ways we do.
And so you know what happened? Their whole life group has left the church. Yeah. They went to another church. Yeah. But not like they left bad. They're just the kind of people that go to like 5 churches at the same time. Right. Yeah. They like what somebody else is preaching better, then they go to that one.
Go there. Yeah.
And so then they left, and then these people left, and then those people left. Right. And so this little thing that if we would have really took some time to look at it, we would have known.
Yeah. We would have been able to see it.
I knew, and even just by looking at them, I knew, like, they're not ready to really step into this leadership role. And that little fox, it destroyed a whole vine.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think of the perimeter structure piece for me is like the schedule that I keep in my life that I've had to learn the bigger my vineyard has gotten. Mm-hmm. I've had to learn how intentionally important my schedule in my life is. If I don't take days off, if I don't schedule time with my family, if I don't schedule date night with my husband, then it's very easy for like certain little foxes to slip in because I've worn out myself or worn out my family or worn out my husband or worn out my friends or worn out my schedule.
Yeah.
And like it leaves holes in places where little things can just creep in.
Oh, that's really good that you said that. Little things.
Right.
I am probably not going to start doing cocaine.
Probably not.
Like, I hope in my life that that's not something that I find myself
Ever doing.
That you're not going to find
Yeah.
Truston out at a bar, just drunk off his butt.
Yeah.
This is for me,
Right.
me. But you might find me 300 pounds.
Right.
Like in 2 years, I fall off. I don't do the little foxes. I'm gonna get 300 pounds.
Well, I was
you
gonna
might
say-
find me mad yelling at somebody in the parking lot,
Right.
road raging on somebody.
Yeah.
You might find me doing a whole bunch of things that don't look bad,
Right.
but will ruin my vine.
Right. Absolutely.
You just talked about rest,
Yeah.
about how we don't rest.
Right.
That's not like, you don't perceive that as sin.
No, not at all. In
It's
fact,
not.
that's
It's not
where-
like a moral failure
right.
of the person.
No, I've struggled to even allow it into my life because it almost looked like the counterintuitiveness of
Yeah.
the work ethic that God had given me.
But that little thing,
Yeah.
not handling it well, it might not
Right.
even be sin. It might be cute. A little fox. Here's a picture of a little fox. Look how cute it is.
So cute.
It's the cute. Oh, that's cute. I
Right.
can allow that in my. No, man. You allow that thing
Yeah.
in about not resting,
Right.
eating too much,
Yep.
not having community.
Right.
All these things.
Yep.
They can really bring detriment to you.
Okay, so you got to repair or identify like where your fence is busted,
Okay.
and then you got to work to repair it, and then you've got to find the little foxes
Got to have a hunting party.
and identify them. Yeah.
Got to have a hunting party.
Yeah. So I think for me, there's been little frustrations in my life that I didn't realize were adding up, like were mounting. And so like one fox I think is easy to like deal with, but if you have multiple foxes and you haven't taken the time to do the inventory, they're going to start stacking up and that's going to ruin your whole vineyard really quickly.
Yeah, they come in like a gang.
That's right. That's right. And so for me, I've had to go, okay, I identify that in this season or in this space or this thing, this is a frustration that keeps popping up over and over again. And so I'm going to deal with this one, but I also got to deal with this one. And I got to keep being vigilant to remove them, to identify them and then remove them because they'll just start adding up little things. What?
I just started singing "What Does the Fox Say" in my head while you were talking about
I
that.
can see your head.
What
thinking
does the
something.
fox say? You
You
could do a whole sermon. That song's just so played out.
Yeah, yeah.
But dude, we could do
Yeah.
do a sermon on what's the fox say.
No, it's true. What are some things in your life that you've had to identify that you didn't realize were little foxes? Like,
Staying up too late.
that's good.
You stay up too late, and then if you stay up too late, you're probably also eating something you don't need to be eating because you're just sitting there like a loser, you know. And then you don't wake up on time, and then your whole morning is rushed.
Yeah.
And because you don't wake up on time, you don't go to the gym. Guess what else you don't do? You don't cook yourself a good breakfast.
Right.
So you're pulling through a drive-through, wasting money. And then guess what? You're not praying.
Right?
Because you don't have no time because you're rushing to get to the meeting that you have to get to.
Yeah.
And then you're late everywhere.
Yeah.
So like you're supposed to be somewhere at 7 a.m. or 8 or 9 a.m., but you're not getting there until like 9:13 because of this little fox
Right.
called, I'll watch one more episode.
Right? Right? Yeah.
I'll watch one more episode.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I know there's still another 38 minutes to this TV show, but instead of pausing it and watching it tomorrow, for me,
Yeah.
that was a little fox that Rachel and I had to just choose discipline. And years ago, that I've talked about this on the podcast before, that I have a bed alarm.
Yeah.
So I not only have an alarm when I wake up, but I have an alarm when I go to bed.
Yeah.
And when you stick to it, when I stick to my bed alarm, I wake up before my morning alarm goes off.
Yeah.
And you know what I do? I feel refreshed and awake, and I get up and drink some water and take my vitamins and go to the gym and I pray and I show up to work early,
Right.
all because I'm able to throw a rock at a little fox.
It's really good. I think that.
What about you?
No, I was thinking through it that I think that there are times that I've recognized that I get really focused on little foxes, and I forget that the fox is just going to be a fox. So like I'm trying to think of it the right example, but like the reason why we're trying to get rid of the little foxes is because the vineyard is so valuable. The vineyard is valuable to me. And that is why it can be easy to say, no, but I really like this show and I really want to watch the show. And so this is my time with my spouse that I'm watching it or whatever. But I have to split my focus from the fact that the fox is going to be a fox. Fox is going, no matter how cute it is, no matter how fun it is, no matter whatever, it is inevitably going to be the character that a fox is. It's going to creep in and ruin some stuff. But I have to look at the bigger picture. And so there's all kinds of moments. For me, I'm really bad at, as a leader, of setting the parameters and boundaries in my week to say, like, I can't meet with you right now. I can meet with you at this time or these moments or this space. Sorry, I only have this window. Because I always want to solve it for people.
Well, you just did it today.
Yeah, I've done it today. I did. Well, yeah, but
can I throw you under the bus?
Yeah, but that's a different one. Oh, but it's real. No, you're right.
Whitney's preaching Sunday.
Yeah.
And we were going to film this podcast a little bit later today. And she said, you know what, can we do it early? Because I can't get anything done. Because I just keep on talking to people and I'm not working on my message.
I thought you were going to throw me under the bus for going with you to look at the Peep Jeep. I was like,
no,
that doesn't count. That's
No, I'm saying just today you said, I haven't been able to focus as much as I want to because I allow my door to just be open.
Yeah, I leave my door open because I have this open door policy.
And so that's a fence issue. That's the thing that we need to reestablish culture within our team.
And but because you're right, it's more a fence issue, which is why I was thinking and contemplating it a minute ago, is that but I look at it as, well, they're valuable. They are valuable, but the time is also valuable. My time is also valuable. And I have to learn how to build the correct structure in a moment to just say, not no, but not right now. Yeah. And I struggle with that so much. And what will happen is, these great people and my team that I love, all these things will be just a layer of that allows then later when someone's cutting me off in traffic, I'm like, wah! But it's really that I'm stressed because I didn't get everything accomplished in the day that I wanted to get accomplished. But it's because I didn't manage my time properly. Yeah. And so the people are not the issue. It's my management of my time.
That you have to reestablish a boundary.
Yeah, and just say,
make a boundary to keep that little fox out.
Yeah.
And foxes, I don't think they're malicious. They're just hungry.
No, they're just,
They're hungry. They just want something.
They're just going to find food. That's what they do.
Little fox, can I take it deeper?
Of course.
I think that lust, sexual impurity, it starts as a little fox. You don't just end up at a strip club.
Right.
That is a bear. That's a ruin your life.
Yeah.
You now done jacked up your stuff.
Okay.
But the little fox is, I know that Instagram shows me this stuff but I'm scrolling past it.
Yeah.
And that little stuff for me, whenever I'm working out, so I've been really diligent back in the gym and all the things. And with that, I'm watching YouTube videos about fitness and health. And so that shifts your algorithm. Yeah. Well, now that my algorithm has shifted away from only Jeeps and sermons, now my algorithm is Jeeps and sermons and working out. And that working out, it brings with it a little fox. Yeah. Yeah. Of some foxy ladies. It brings some little foxes in with it. And so I have to be very aware of, I need to I was just talking to Pastor Tim about this the other day. I have to rebuild my boundaries. Right. I have to be very intentional that I've got a sling and a stone and I'm ready to kill this stuff in me that wants to destroy my vineyard. Yeah. But if you can't be honest enough, I years ago, I talked with another pastor that I was friends with. And I said, hey man, I'm battling some lust stuff. This is back before I was lead pastor. Yeah. I said, man, there's some lust stuff that I'm battling with. Would you pray for me? And he goes, yeah, man, I'd pray for you. I mean, that's something, I've never struggled with that. But yeah, I'll pray for you. And I was like, oh, okay. This guy's my age, maybe a little bit older. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, comes out, homeboy was cheating and sleeping around and
bunch of crazy crap.
Crazy junk, ruining people's marriages. Right. And if he could have just admitted back then, I have a little fox, it wouldn't have turned into a bear that ruined his whole
No, it's so true. Thing. No, I think it's great. And And it's not.
That's a little fox.
No, it is.
It's not sinful. It's not sinful. And so like I referenced Yellowstone in my message on Sunday.
Yeah, why are you coming for me?
No, I've watched
You
it.
were coming for me so hard all that whole message.
No, the Holy Spirit was
okay,
coming for you the whole message. And so like I'm watching Yellowstone, right? Well, I need to be aware of the little foxes.
Yeah.
And so if I'm watching it and Rachel and I are watching it and all of a sudden I see something on a show that is not good for me to see, I have to make up a decision. I'm not going to go watch that again.
Right. No, that makes sense.
I'm not going to, I'm just going to rewatch episode whatever from season whatever. Just because, that was a really good episode. No, I'm going to understand that that's something that's now in my mind that I don't want to dwell on.
Yeah.
And so I have to remove it. That's real vulnerable.
No, it's super vulnerable.
But like, I think that we need to call foxes foxes.
No, it's really
We
good.
need to call little cute things that don't seem like they're going to bring a bunch of destruction. We need to really call them what they are. They're there to steal, kill, and destroy.
You're right.
Because little foxes turn into wolves. Well, I don't know. Not wolves. They turn into big foxes.
Yeah.
But those jokers will bite your foot off.
It's true. No, it's true. And I appreciate your willingness to be vulnerable and to talk about like a sin issue like that could turn into that. But it's not only sin issues too. I think that as leaders, tugging into more, we can let little things go that we think aren't a big deal that can ruin our business, that can ruin our culture. Like you mentioned, for you and I, there's been times where we've just had one employee that was just a little bad attitude.
Cray.
Just a little cray.
It's a new word. It's a new word that the young people are using.
It is?
No, I'm joking. It's a new word 8 years ago.
8 years ago. They're a little cray and they're a little off kilter of the culture. And I have said to you, I've confessed to you before, like I am guilty of allowing this to live, to breed in them, to grow in them. And now they're a little fox that then told some other foxes to come inside and ruin the vineyard too. And we have to be really aware.
And now that whole department.
Yeah.
Our whole department is withering.
Yeah.
It's not producing grapes.
Right.
Because we lit one in.
This one little fox in and let their attitude, their behavior, their just misalignment of culture drift things off course. And that takes a lot longer to rebuild.
Yeah.
Once it's been eaten away at the root. And so I think there's lots of different types. There's the sin ones. There's the small things that we don't want to deal with. That's the truth of it. The truth of it is not that I was afraid to deal with it. It's that I thought it wasn't important.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It was. I have more important things to do.
Yeah.
I have a busier day. I have people at my door wanting to meet with me.
Yeah.
And so instead of dealing with something, I allowed things to get out of control, allowed damage to occur that I could have stopped if I would have just dealt with it right away.
Yeah, and it's not a big deal.
Right.
But you know how you gain weight? One bite at a time.
Right.
This Oreo isn't a big deal. Well, I know it's not.
Yeah.
But that thing over 6 months.
Right.
It quickly becomes a big deal. And it's the same thing in our finances, in our leadership, with our teams.
No, you said it a minute ago about like, I won't ever do cocaine,
right.
but I might become 300 pounds. But it's not that you're going to sit down and gorge yourself in one moment over and over. It's that it's a consistency and a choice to what am I going to do today and tomorrow and the next day. And as leaders, we have to look at that in our organization. You and I have worked really hard over the last however many years it's been to build the culture that we really feel like God's established for us to build here.
Yeah.
And you talk about clean the plate all the time. We've talked about it on the podcast a bunch of times, but we have not recently learned, but we learned over the course of a few years, we're going to be cleaning the plate always. That's not a one-time thing. And
sometimes it's with a sponge and sometimes it's with a steel Brillo pad.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just needs a rinse.
Just a little water.
It's not even that big a deal.
But if you deal with it quick, it just needs a rinse.
Yeah. Right. It's done.
But if you just leave it there, you got to bring out a chisel and a hammer to get that gunk off the plate.
And I wonder how many leaders think maybe you are intimidated to have a conversation. Maybe that scares you and stresses you out because you don't want to cause damage. But I've had to learn that not having the conversation actually produces the most damage to the whole vineyard. And then maybe it's just that you think the time is not important. We have to deal with all the little things that want to creep in, because we live in a world that has a very real enemy who's out to steal, kill, and destroy everything that God is helping us step into. And so we have to be able to attack it. Go ahead.
No, which is, I guess, maybe the third piece. So repair the fences.
Yeah.
Hunt the foxes.
Find them, yeah.
But then take inventory of current damage.
Yeah.
If you don't know where the fox is, you don't like, oh, there it is. You don't know, I can't find it. Well, then you need to just start taking inventory and crawl around the vineyard and start looking at some roots.
Yeah.
Crawl around, man. This is what you're so good at. This is why you're such a gift to me and to the church, is because you're able to go in and just watch.
What's happening?
Just go in and look around and see what the deal is and just start having some conversations. And then you're able to listen and hear the gnawing.
Yeah.
You're able to see the bite marks.
Yeah.
Oh, this is against our culture. You've got to go and do some examining. What's the story? We have like kind of not an inside joke, but like a thing within our staff where we yell, "That's not our culture."
Yes.
What's that story?
It comes from the young people always. They're always the ones that like to make things funny, or not, like make it an ongoing thing, whatever the word is. And there was someone in the group that was acting a fool and like being silly on stage and said something, and that's just what it was. Somebody just called out. I don't even remember now what it was that they did.
Something
or
happened.
said,
Something happened that wasn't right.
Yeah.
And then one of the youth leaders yells,
"That's not our culture.
That's not our culture."
And it was like a tense, like they were right, but also it was like a tense moment, and it caused a bunch of laughter.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, "But it's not our culture." And so then now we just say it all the time as like that's not our culture.
So look around and find out the stuff that's not your culture.
Yeah.
The culture of our home, of Rachel and I's home, does not want to be yelly.
Yeah. Right.
The culture of our home does not want to be mopey.
Right.
But if we find ourselves yelly or mopey, then we have to yell, "That's not our culture."
Right.
And then we go and we examine all the roots. Well, what's been getting nibbled on? You know what's been getting nibbled on? I'm stressed.
Right.
You know what's been getting nibbled on? Rachel's overwhelmed with something going on with her mom.
Right.
You know what's been getting nibbled on?
No,
a
but it's so
financial
good.
issue. And this nibbling helps us identify why we're withering.
Well, it's so good because what you're saying is true, that sometimes in my day I'll go home frustrated or bugged, or in the end of the week I'm exhausted, right? But I have not identified the little foxes that have stolen from me that week.
Stolen your vitality.
So I have to look and go, oh, okay, I see the damage. That's what I have to, then I can evaluate. And if we start doing that, then you get in a better habit of being able to identify the foxes. But that's such good wisdom, because I think so often what happens to people, to us, is we get to the end of a week, or we get to a tense moment, or we want to throw a shopping cart in a parking lot, or whatever it is, that we're like, what in the world? Why am I so frustrated? And we don't even ever realize or take the time to look back. And so then we just go from one explosive moment to the next, one damaged moment to the next, instead of taking the time to go, wait a minute, something is causing me to respond that way. I know as women, we're more emotional sometimes than dudes.
Different. You're emotionally different.
And so we can chalk it up to just being like, oh, I'm just a girl. I'm just being a girl right now. But no, there's really something that I need to evaluate and look at and go, oh, there is a not my culture response happening. There is damage actually happening. And instead of just going, oh, guys, I'm sorry that happened. How often do we just say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it? And we don't look back and go, why did that happen? Where did that come from? Then if we don't take the time to be self-aware, there's that word again, to look back, then we can't identify the foxes, and then they just live. And they keep living. They
just burrow a little hole in our vineyard.
Yeah.
They move in, and they just keep on eating the vine.
Yeah, they just keep coming out. And so
that's when you're in real trouble.
Big trouble.
Is when you give free rent to a fox. We give a key.
They've now taken up residence in your vineyard. Yeah.
Golly, and we do it. It's so easy to let it be done in relationships.
Yeah.
Well, that's just how we communicate.
Exactly.
This is just what we do.
Right.
No. You've just let a fox have an apartment.
Yeah. No.
This is well, our staff this is how our staff does. We talked to a pastor and he said, well, our staff is just sarcastic.
Oh yeah.
All of our staff, we're just sarcastic, and this is how we communicate with each other. It's like, no, dude, that's sarcasm. That's a fox you've allowed to move into your ministry.
Right. And now
because
it's
now
doing
the
damage.
truth is, have you ever been around a lot of sarcastic people? All it is teasing each other and mocking.
Right.
And it's a bunch of like truth that you're saying in a joke.
Right.
Nobody walks away from a sarcastic person and feels better about themselves.
Right.
Nobody feels better.
Right. They usually feel confused.
Yeah, confused, or their feelings are kind of hurt, or like they don't really know where they stand.
Right.
And they're like, well, I'm just a sarcastic person. No, that's a little fox that now lives in your vineyard.
Yeah. No.
Hit that dude with a rock.
Hit it with a rock. And it's just so good. I'm like, yes, how many times do we say that's just the way we are? That's just the way it is. It's just the way. And you and I talk about this sometimes about like restaurants especially, but like, have you ever walked into a place and it just has so much attached to it that you feel a certain way the minute you walk in? And like,
you mean good or bad?
Yeah.
Oh, either.
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
But often the bad comes from some little foxes that we either didn't deal with or had to need to deal with, or whatever it is. And like, what about you in your home, in your leadership, in your organization? Are other people feeling when they walk into your space because of foxes that you've allowed to just run rampant? And now it's just become, this is just the way it is. And I think that like the other day we went to a restaurant and there was like a beeping sound, and it was so distracting to me.
Well, me and you are both pretty, sounds bug us.
Yes.
Like if I'm driving and there's a rattling in my car,
you can't.
Or I have to like pull over and stop the rattling because it drives me crazy.
Well, I think that, I don't know what it is, but we're hyper aware of things around us sometimes. And so you are like, it's the
we might just have like a little bit of like, maybe we're on the spectrum.
I don't know.
Isn't that a thing?
No. Well, Kelly Ripa had some like disease, like not disease, but it's like a real thing where chewing makes her brain like go crazy. If she can hear people chewing, she gets mad. Maybe we have like a sound ordinance situation. I have no idea.
As long as I get to be Michael Stranahan.
Michael Strahan, as long as you don't abandon me on national television in front of everyone. That's what happened.
Oh, I don't know.
He quit on her like on national television.
And she didn't know?
No, I think she found out like as she was walking out.
When did that
Michael
happen?
Just,
it was
yeah,
like
a while
long
ago.
time ago?
Yeah,
No.
a while ago.
I don't follow that jump.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, let's go back to my story. So the four of us,
beeping.
Truston, Rachel, Aaron, Whitney, at lunch. Truston is trying to tell us this very like specific thing. That's exactly what's happening, that God is like talking to you about. And this beeping is just, and I finally just said, is this not driving anyone else crazy? But like, it was just constant. And I feel like in life, there can be these little foxes that everyone else has just gotten used to, but we as the leaders have to identify that is annoying, that is frustrating, that is causing people to be distracted, whatever it is. We have to be the ones aware, because later you and I were like, that's just bad employees. They just don't care. That
there's just a machine somewhere that needs to be reset,
or the battery needs to be changed in the fire smoke alarm or something. But our job as leaders, or our job as
fuzzies in Mansfield.
Okay, you don't have to call them out.
Pull your junk together.
And so, if we're
trying to enjoy my salad in as much peace as possible.
Hey.
I already didn't order chips and queso, and I'm eating a salad. Now I listen to beeping the whole time. Pull it together.
But what I told you, it's ruining my experience so much that I don't really want to go back here again. Like, if you asked me to go back there again, I'll be like, nah, not if they're still beeping. And if we want to be people who tug into more, we have to listen for the crazy beeping and not get so comfortable with it that that's just the way it is now, that we create a vibe and energy for other people when they come into our space that they're like, does anyone not see?
Yeah.
People see.
Repair the fence.
Yeah.
Hunt the foxes.
Yeah. What was it?
It was
assess the damage.
Yeah, assess the damage, and then bind up the trunk.
Oh, this is good.
So little fox comes in. Great. He bit up some stuff.
Yep.
I see the fox. He bit some stuff up. Yep. I killed him. I fixed the fence. Now what do I have to do?
Yep.
I got to go get some of that plant tape.
Twine tape.
I got to bind it up. I got to get a little, tree doctor ointment. I don't know. I need to ask Rachel or my mother-in-law. They got little medicine you put on the tree, tar or something.
Yeah.
some honey. I don't know. And then they wrap up the trunk so that the thing can heal.
Yeah.
And so it needs attention.
Yeah.
If you have allowed a little fox in and you got bit up and your organization's hurt or your marriage is hurt or something, it needs salve.
Yeah.
It needs a Band-Aid on the thing.
Well, you said it before too.
Don't just let it scar over, get infected, and die. Go and tend the vine.
And tend to it. Yeah. Yeah.
There's this thing in the Bible how God says he is the vine tender.
Yeah.
Go to God with it, man. Pray about it.
Right.
God, heal my heart. Help me fix this.
Yeah.
Abide with the Lord. Sit down, pray about it, and say, hey, God, I'm starting to work out again, and I got a bunch of big booty hoes showing up on my Instagram, and I don't want them there. And so, God, I need you to help me renew my mind.
Right.
I want you to help me focus my thoughts,
It's
Lord.
really true.
I don't want this in, Lord. I don't know why I keep eating cheeseburgers and cupcakes. Lord, help me. God, help me, Lord.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep having bad time management.
I don't want
Lord,
to be
help
frustrated
me.
and rude to people because I just didn't get my junk done on time.
Yeah.
I don't want to yell at someone while they're driving down the road just because I'm in a hurry because I'm running late, whatever it is. And man, it's so good. Then the one piece, though, that we didn't really say is the piece we always say on the Tug of War. You mentioned before the 8-year-old with the slingshot.
Okay.
Get somebody around you that will help you get rid of the foxes too.
Employ another set of eyes.
Yeah. Employ somebody else to help you in your life be able to say, hey, here's a little fox. Here's something, whether it's in the organization, like you and I are in a season right now where we're desperately needing some extra eyes to help us with some of the foxes. But then in our relationships, in our life, people that we allow in that can say, hey, you good? Hey, you good? It's so important.
So smart. Get some, because as we're talking, you're your own field.
Correct.
I am my own field.
Right.
And sometimes there's stuff in me that I am not self-aware enough to observe.
Correct.
Or I'm just not smart enough to know the answers to. Today I walked through the auditorium and Enrique was having a meeting with 2 men in our church. And I know like what both of these men do, like as their jobs. Yeah. And I walked by and I said, hey, I don't know what y'all are doing, but I'm sure glad you're doing it.
That's right.
Because these guys are really smart in certain areas.
They have wisdom beyond what we can come up with.
And so what they're doing, what they're working on is to help us save some money and to help us manage some things better and to help us take the next right steps. And we had to go and get some other dudes with a rock in their hand to help better the thing. And what you're saying is so good. Who have you
handed a slingshot?
Who have you given your gate code to?
Oh, yes.
We build these walls.
Come on.
But there's got to be a gate. Who has your gate code?
Right.
Who are you inviting to come over and go fox hunting?
I do know the gate code to your garage. I could tell everyone. I'm just kidding.
Well, you can.
I'm not going to. No, it's true. It's so necessary. And it's really, the longer I live, the more I believe you can't step into more on your own.
Yeah.
You have to have other people that are helping you get to where you're going. And if you keep trying to do it by yourself, eventually.
You can't step into more alone. That's a sermon.
Yeah, you can't. It's true. I don't think. Anyway. But
You can't. It's true. There's no way that a knife can sharpen itself without another piece of steel.
Right. At a certain point.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
And so find somebody, give them your gate code, which means be transparent, let them in, give them permission to speak, so that they can kill some foxes for you.
For you. And don't get mad at them whenever they killed a fox.
Dude, so good.
Yeah.
Guys, do you know our favorite thing to do? Is what we just did.
Answer your questions.
Answer a question that you have about how to tug into more. So if you have questions, hit us up, let us know. Get ready to see a Peep Jeep driving around a city near you.
Love y'all.
See ya.